Hey, this is Jeff Waters from the Canadian metal band Annihilator, and you are watching the one and only Army of One TV.
A suicide society, we've all gone bloody mad. Welcome to the dark side, the human race.
Welcome, my name is Ignacio Oriana, and I'm right here with Mr. Jeff Waters from Annihilator.
Big thing for me too is that I'm here in New York City, which is kind of rare for me. I get to come down as a tourist sometimes, but rarely do I come down for a press or anything, and also to be here in the Megaforce offices. There's a lot of history that I'm connected to as a metal fan here coming out of here, so it's kind of a nice experience, and of course being here talking to you.
How does it feel to come back to be the lead singer of the band?
It certainly wasn't planned. I'd sang on 3 records before in the 90s, and in December of 2014, our singer Dave Padden, who was also a guitar player on tour, left after 12 years, very unexpectedly, and for no reason to do with the band or music or anything like, or personality issues or anything. It was just his words. He just got tired of the traveling. Traveling was his main thing, and I was kind of surprised by that and disappointed, but at the same time, my band's always been about changes, and planned or not, and so we just moved on, and I just figured the next logical step was that I do the 4th album with me singing.
Okay, there's any connection to those albums that you were referring to before?
Well, I think, you know, I write almost everything in the band, all the instruments and vocals and lyrics, melody lines and that, so whenever I'm doing a record, and this is our, let me see, 15th studio one coming out, I always sing a demo CD, or in the old days a cassette, or later CD, of the, you know, the finished music with sort of like a guide track for the singers, and so they have an idea of what I was looking for, and of course they can change things and make it better if they can in the studio. But I mean, there's the first 3 records I did were, the first one was called King of the Kill, then Refresh the Demon, and then Remains, 95, 96, 97 I believe. And that was kind of, I was again thrown into singing basically by some friends and family that said, you should do it, you always sing on the demos. But when I decided to sing on this record, I actually changed a few things. I went and took some lessons for a few months because I'd never really had any proper training on how to preserve or keep my voice from blowing up and dying on tour or anything like that. I'd always just yell out, and I was never a natural born gifted singer. Guitar is my main thing, obviously. So I thought at least I would, you know, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it right. Took lessons and learned how to do a lot of things different. And I referred to the old records that we did, and you know, as an artist, I think you either go with the ego and say, oh, everything I've done is good, or you go and you look at what you've done and go, oh, what can I do better? And that's what I chose to do, and tried to get rid of some of the things I wasn't too good at singing in the past, and try to improve upon them now. Plus I had a lot of, I kind of relaxed on this because there was a lot of pressure, especially in the European metal scene, business, etc., on me to, you know, for what was going to happen next for us. And I just said, you know what, just think of it, who do you sing, like if you're driving fast on the highway by yourself, or singing in the shower or something, who is it, or who are they that you can sing or get close to or have fun singing? And it wasn't my favorite singers like Halford, Dickinson, Dio, because I could never do anything close to that. It was the 4 guys that I could sort of karaoke pretty good. Karaoke, there you go, would be Mustaine, Hetfield, Ozzy, and Lane Staley, Alice in Chains. And while I didn't try to target that was very heavy on my mind, and I think that came through, along with my some of the, you know, hopefully better things from the old singing I used to do in Annihilator. So it's kind of like, you really hear the influences definitely vocally on this record. It's basically been my solo project behind the scenes, and writing-wise, really from the beginning, even the demo days, and I would hire a singer and drummer to do the records, and then find some guys to go on tour with. It's a strange way to do it, and it's very strange calling it a band sometimes, but yeah, I mean, basically Mike Harshaw's been with us for 3-4 years on drums, and he and I basically did the record. That was it, 2 guys. Mostly, I guess, me. I played all the bass and guitars and singing and writing, producing, mixing, engineering.
But you always done that?
Yeah, I've pretty well always done that, yeah. And then, of course, you have to find guys to go on tour. So I found a guitar player named Aaron, from Ottawa, Canada, my city, and we got a guy from Moscow, Russia, which is going to be a kind of meet for us. It's like a real schooled meet, practiced, educated bass player meets a total metalhead. He's right in between there, so he's going to be a fun guy to tour with. We haven't been to South America, I think, in 2 years. I can't remember the exact year, but
I've seen you posting on your Facebook page a lot of
images
from Chile. So were you coming back, and any funny stories from that?
Well, not so many stories. I mean, some of the one-offs or the fly-ins, like we did at Santiago, Chile Metal Fest, but it was a very big, fun festival. I do remember Testament went on, we went on, and Anthrax went on. And I remember when we played, when Testament played first, we of course watched them. We're fans and friends of them for years, and then it was kind of neat because we would play, they would watch us, and then when we were all done, we all got together, quickly I remember getting a Gatorade, somebody got a beer, a bunch of us went, and Chuck and I just stood there and watched Anthrax and had a very, very good time watching with the crowd. It's just so, as everybody knows, you know, it's not just Santiago, of course. You have Buenos Aires, which is a close rival for metal fans too, but I mean, those two cities are fantastic for metal. We're going back, I think we're going back in, I believe we're going back to Chile in March or April. Again, I think it depends. I think you can't generalize it to South America and that part of Europe or anything, because it actually can vary city to city, right? So you can have, you know, famous, quote, famous crowds like Santiago or Buenos Aires, but you can also have the same crowd in a small German town, you know what I mean? It's like in I'm not saying Nuremberg small, but in Nuremberg, Germany, you can have the most insane, amazing crowds. So I think it's, and same with Canada, my home country, you know, we haven't played there very much, just like we haven't played the United States for decades.
Coming back to your latest album, I haven't had the chance to listen to it, I mean, the whole of it, but what a fan can expect from it?
I guess fans that know us already, you know, and I would say that know of us as in buy our records, or at least look forward to seeing if the next record is something they like versus the last one. You know, I'd say European fans, because that's our main place where we do very well. They've kind of heard 2 or 3 songs and some clips and everything, and they're kind of, it's not a surprise for them, but a lot of new fans, and especially in North America, slowly but surely the internet is creating a little buzz. When metal seemed to come back around 2000, 2003, 4, 5, Annihilator was never a big band here, and we were older at that time, so we weren't a new band with a new sound, and our music is not, I couldn't even begin to claim that our music is original and you know, groundbreaking new anything. It's really a mixture of thrash and heavy metal from the 80s and 70s that I grew up on and liked, and you hear the influences everywhere. So when I did think that we had an opportunity to come back to the States and Canada, I was a little bit at the time surprised that I couldn't get labels or tour agencies or anyone interested, and now I understand why, but for the reasons I just explained. But the internet is kind of a beautiful thing, really, for many, many reasons, and one of them is people are slowly saying, who's this band that, you know, one person might say has some Megadeth in it, or Maiden, or Priest, or Slayer, or Exodus, or, you know, people are slowly discovering the band over here.
And I know about Annihilator and the riffing, and very aggressive and fast, right? And suddenly you get songs with very clean guitar and very melody. But most of the people right now that is discovering Annihilator are expecting that fast beat and all that.
I think if people see, the first thing, I'd say new fans, but I'd say majority would be United States and Canadian fans that are new, not necessarily fans, but discovering. First thing they do is they hear the name Annihilator, and they must think it's probably a fast or a thrash or heavy aggressive band. And we do have sections of songs or certain songs that are towards the faster or thrash or aggressive stuff, but we're not like, for example, what it seems, it's hard for me to compare the scenes, because if I'm not in it, so to speak, in the Canadian or United States scene touring in that, it's hard for me to really comment on what's going on, but it seems the tendency to me is like, you know, if a Lamb of God fan heard Annihilator, some of them would go, what is this? One minute there's a thrashy, heavy song with a name called Annihilator. The next minute there's a love song, a ballad with classical guitar, or there's a kind of humorous, silly song about Kraft dinner, macaroni and cheese, or you know, like you know, or an AC/DC hard rock kind of vibe to something. So, whereas, and I understand that because we haven't been here, we haven't done the touring, we haven't been visible, and so when you discover us, you're either going to run and say this is terrible, or you're going to go, hey, this is interesting, there's a lot of different styles.
To expect any touring in the United States?
If anybody wants to, I've had many well-known bands ask me to come down and tour, and I would love to do it. It's just that until you get the touring agency saying yes, and until you get the labels saying we'll help you out for a little while, it's a tough one.
Any final words that would you like to say to the fans out there that are watching this?
Oh, just I guess if you're from Europe, check out the new Annihilator album, and if you're from anywhere else, give us a listen. And it's a cool thing about the internet. You can audition or just see if you like, you know, new songs, new albums from bands, and if you like it, you can go buy it, and if you don't like it, there's so many other good bands out there and good music. Yeah, check it out, Annihilator Suicide Society, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much to you, Mr. Jeff Water. It was a pleasure. My name is Ignacio Soriana. This was Army of One TV.